And gentlemen, we are back from some Draftalgia action, and this week we are looking forward to some great events. We are drafting the $3 Draftalgia cube of Ryan, and I have Ryan with me,
Hey,
so
hey, hey, everybody.
the man himself who designed the cube.
Made it in the
And
room.
and for now, we're gonna do something a little bit extra over the normal set review. So here, because it's a curated cube and there are some really good cards in here, we wanna go through the archetypes. In a lot of cases, many people mention that it would be good to have like an overview. What are the jokes, not just the individual card, but the archetype is trying to do. Usually, I try to explain it through the card review, but here we're gonna showcase some of the themes, key cards. So let's just kick it off then. So yeah, Ryan, our first one.
Yeah, so you start with your Azorius Artifacts package, which is kind of a standard artifacts build where your goal is to have as many kind of artifact creatures or mana rocks or whatever you can kind of cobble together to benefit from different kind of, discounts like affinity through artifacts, as well as kind of, big pumps in power or kind of synergies that are all based through that. You can see a couple of the signposts we've thrown up on screen for you. You can see your Dance of the Manse, your Cephalopods, Sentry, and your Voyage Home kind of giving you some signposts. There's, I think, 14 multicolored cards per breakdown. So you'll see a lot more than these, but this is basically your synergies of throwing as much in as you possibly can and hoping for the best. Um,
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to this one, especially because for me blue is a known quantity, but white, like in a lot of the cases, struggle with its color identity. I think being part of an artifact team actually brings white inherently to a place where there's a powerful things going on. There's a lot of
yeah, plays with a lot
synergy.
of strengths for
So
sure.
I really like that. White-based artifact blue is close to my heart anyway. And we have Voyage Home, which draws you 3 cards.
Yeah, there's
So
plenty of
can
plenty of
go wrong
synergy
with that
based
one.
card draw there for sure.
So yeah, so our next one is Dimir Self-mill, so staying on the blue axis. So like you can't go wrong. We have Gyruda here, so it's
Yeah,
already it's
absolute
already
house.
started great. Yeah, so that's notable. It looks like we have some of the companions, and I think
Yeah,
Gyruda
you
is
gotta. There's a
you
big
know
bunch of companions in the set.
exactly, and you
Absolutely.
want like even mana cost here. There's two even on the screen. Ancient one, which is a shame I couldn't play enough in the
Yeah, the format
lost
that I
covers of
have. Yeah,
Excellent, but
yeah,
like 2 mana for an 8/8. Speaking of
yeah.
Tarmogoyf, and then Devour of Memory. So really, the goal here is to
Yeah,
feed your
both cards
graveyard.
notably being able to like actually fuel the archetype itself, not only having the payoff, but also being able to actually put cards into your graveyard and kind of cycle through that deck to get you those advantages that you want from that blue black kind of synergies, right? But yeah, it's mostly keeping yourself filling that graveyard and chugging along with value.
Yeah, yeah, and I think it's actually interesting because Jairuda like technically can go into a Rakdos Reanimator thing
Yeah,
too.
it can. Yeah,
If
there's
you
some nice
get that,
like
yeah, I
side
like that part.
tangential synergies. Yeah,
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 if he
yeah.
can pull that off,
You're
like
fighting over it with the Rakdos player as well, for
yeah,
sure. Yeah.
yeah, and so it's why I think it's better in this deck still, but yeah, and I like the fact that though both stacks are like going for the graveyard, but the Dimir Self-mill gets the payoff elsewhere.
Yeah,
It's not the
absolutely.
creatures coming back, but here the Devour of Memory being unblockable.
Yeah,
So
you find the
that's the
cards
way, yeah,
themselves have the actual payoffs versus the
yeah.
yeah just returning the cycling through them.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
no,
sure.
I'm actually kind of excited for that. I'm hoping to see like maybe some of the flashback cards
Yeah,
too,
yeah,
which I don't
absolutely,
mind in my graveyard.
absolutely.
So yeah, so moving on, another
Speaking of,
graveyard centric team, Golgari Graveyard.
yeah, I mean this is one's got some real classics in it. You got the Grim Flare being able to fuel you as early as turn two, and
Yeah, oh
then
my
kind of
boy,
yeah,
the Grim
it's
Slayer.
absolute house of card. Old Stink Figures again, really worth looking at that recursion we talked about earlier, which are those kind of creature cards being able to kind of mill your almost turbo mill depending on how your
Oh
deck
yeah,
is set up, right? And then some kind of cool removal like Urgent Necropsy, being able to use your graveyard in a different way that's not just pulling creatures back out of it.
yeah,
Being able to use it for some sort of nice targeted removal there as well. You'll see lots of really cool recursive stuff, but also just ways that you're able to kind of do what Golgari does best and just kind of churn and churn and churn through the deck until you can close out with some real haymakers.
Yeah, also like I don't want to let the cat out of the bag too much, but I was kind of on this archetype the last time around.
Yeah, you've got intimate experience with the
Yeah,
player.
and
Yeah.
and one I did really enjoy it, and partially because and this may have changed, so
Yeah.
don't bank on this
Yeah.
one. But there wasn't too much targeted graveyard hit, so I
Yeah, that's
felt
right.
like
That's
I
right.
was doing my thing for
Yeah,
relatively
yeah.
free.
Yeah, there's not so much in there. It's giving you a chance to really multiple strategies and use the graveyard. And while there is some punishing that you can do with it, I did want to leave the lane relatively open to
Yeah,
to actually play there, not feel too punished by someone whipping out a rest in peace.
yeah,
on
that's
the
simply
turn.
not in the queue. So,
Yeah.
so there you go.
Yeah, you getting a
Don't need
hosed.
to ward up nature lines
Yeah,
or whatever or
yeah,
counter stuff
exactly,
for that.
exactly.
So yeah, so this is a gem for me. Another graveyard one. So let's move on with Gruul Haste. So this is a green one, but that does not care about the graveyard. It cares about something else. So I had the pleasure to play against this deck.
This is my
Yeah, I'll tell you
go-to.
that wasn't the highlight reel moment of my life. Yeah, so the cards are, I mean, like, like you start from Samut, Vizier of Nocturne, I mean, absolutely ridiculous
Yeah,
cards
it's a
from
dream pack one
Afterlife.
pick one for sure in this archetype.
Yeah, I mean, like, what more you want? Vigilance, Haste, First Strike, and whenever a creature you control deals damage to player, if it had haste, you draw a card. This
Yeah.
has haste, by
Yeah.
the way. So, and also, like, notably, right, like Vizier of Nectamoon with Gorklan Rampager, that's
Yeah,
just like,
you're just beating in
Yeah.
for
and I feel like that was I think the key thing which I think people should be mindful when playing this deck, as I suffered against
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
that I never felt safe going into a block, no matter the size of my creature was.
I think that's right.
It's
Yeah,
like,
I think it's got enough. There's a lot of surprises that kind of come through this archetype. That the goal is that you really are never. It's not as simple as just a plow forward deck. There are a lot of like tricky ways to kind of because you can't even counter this Gorflaw Rampage.
Yeah.
Like it's like like you gotta be sitting here with your prohibit being like I got him, and it's like no you don't.
Like I think I had a moment where I think you attacked me with the Samut and I had probably like a 5-5 and like and I run the numbers like I can block.
Yeah,
like if they go a clown rampager me, then I lose this 5-5, then they draw a card and you can nothing happen and the creature is still alive.
Exactly.
And I'm like, oh, and then I will just take the 2 and then they draw a card.
And then they draw cards. Yeah.
So I'm not out of the
It's unappealing, no. And you have these enablers like Yaros, or the Old Gods, which is able to give your entire, army haste, right? All your creatures. So it's one of those things where, it's got a great mix of enablers and really put you on the back foot. If you get a good start, you can really plow down with this.
Yeah, and I think me naturally player, like I want these archetypes to be bad because don't think this should happen to people. But I'm telling you, next time I'm keeping an eye out. If I see a yellow,
you really do have to be careful.
Pushing the pace for it. So that was Gruul. Then we have Selesnya with Enchantress, which also exists technically since Alpha. With regular Enchantress. This is slightly different. I would say upgraded over the last 30 years. Here and then couple of things, right? Like Danita, New Benalia's Light, again, the keyword soup, Vigilance, Trample, Lifelink. So this is the type of card you want to enchant.
And notably able to let you reuse those auras.
Exactly.
That usually the downside of playing Selesnya or enchantments, I should say in general, is that you get blown out. Yes. Right? Someone you go to play an aura, they nuke your creature and you're toast. And you see that Bronze-Eyed Lion and Danita kind of both are exemplary reasons to you have those kind of sustainable or renewable, I should say, ways of playing these cards that usually, your Armadillo Cloak, you go to play that, and someone nukes your creature. Well, next turn you can pull it out of the graveyard with Danitha and attach it to something else. So there's incentives to keep, this kind of train. Yeah, you know what I mean? It lets you kind of cover a lot more bases.
Yeah, and Armadillo Cloak. Like, speaking of one way to catch up with the Gruul deck, so this is one of those cards which gets you the life gain. So I think Armadillo Cloak since 20 years now. Making aggressive decks like miserable. And so this is an archetype with what Ryan you just said, right? Like mitigating the card disadvantage. That's also something where
it's a big part of when you're building this to keep in mind that you need ways to mitigate that card advantage.
So I'm if I see a Danita coming later, I'll pick it out. I'll pick it out and I'll pay attention. So so Selesnya Enchantress. then Boros equipment, which is this is everybody's secret love affair in high school.
Yeah.
That's what everyone wants to see.
Yeah.
It's like, huh, okay.
Give me the big swords. Give me the
Yeah,
big axes. Yeah.
and it's always like this like untouchable thing. It's almost always
It's almost
happening,
always good.
but
Yeah.
it's like you're just an inch away from
It's so
from
close,
doing
but
it.
yet so
But
far
here,
away.
here we might have it. So and it's also like 2 mana 2/2, 3 mana 3/3, 4 mana 4/4.
Yeah, this is your dream.
Yeah,
This is your
yeah.
dream opening hand, right? You got a couple lands and 2/3/4 with maybe a cute little 1 or 2 mana equipment. Yeah, it's aggressive. But again, like it's not. It's. I would say it's less aggressive than the
The
Gruul
1,
deck.
2, 3, yeah.
I would say the
combat
Gruul
trick
deck
yeah.
is smacking a little harder. This is playing a little more towards your like mid-rangey value plays, where you're able to kind of play these big equipments, reduce their equipment costs by one way or another, and then kind of start beating in with 1 or 2 creatures to kind of gradually grind out with some equipment value. Reducing those equipment costs, as you can see with Astorvera Blades there, down to 1 is huge. Being able to get rid of some of these, really get your mana as efficient as possible.
Yeah. I'm hoping that some big vehicles is, like hiding in the shadows
Yeah.
somewhere, like, threw them off for one. Like, can you
Just a
imagine?
warship.
That's the thing too, like getting your vehicle crewed up and then equipping it with a big sword for one.
It's crazy.
And just hitting them for that. But yeah, no, I think this deck also has that resilience that you get card advantage. The equipment generally resilient because board wipes clean up the creatures.
Yeah, you're playing your board. That's right.
Like that's one thing why I like equipment because I like depending on the pace of the format, we can end up in a situation that hey, you board wipe me, I play a vanilla 1/1, but it's like there's
I'm all the spy players on it, and all of a sudden it's a 3/3 flyer, and you're like, oh well,
the pressure's still up.
Exactly,
right?
No, it's good.
So Boros is also something to look forward to here, and then Orzhov Blink. So so this one, like let's start with the hamburger, fries, the meat here. I wouldn't want to do this. Right?
Yeah.
So I think 2 good reasons. One, the biggest reason for me is Ashen Rider on the mill.
Right. Yeah.
So 5/5 flyer, when it enters or dies, you exile the target permanent.
Yeah.
There you go. So,
absolutely soul crushing. You get to that.
Yeah, exactly. Like imagine this entering the battlefield and what your opponent is thinking that they just lost their best card. Yeah. They have to solve this somehow, and if that happens, then they're gonna lose the second best card.
Absolutely.
So it's this is just
and you might sit there with a cloud shift, and all of a sudden it's like this is
it's
backbreaking, right? Yeah. Like it's those kind. I think that's the idea is that like having these payoffs for like minute builds up, like the Corpse Knight here being able to slowly kind of tick down life totals, and then when you're in the late game, kind of being able to drop an Obsidian or something bigger. That's again, these cards that are able to. You might be a little bit on the back foot in the beginning part of the game, but these drains from Obsidian, my God, two or three turns, and you're right back after them that Gruul Beatdown, right? So it's ways that if you can find ways early on in the game to kind of hold off those really early aggressors, then what some of these bombs, these Obsidians kind of coming down to stabilize you, those are really those are the real dreams there.
Yeah, also like some of these cards, like what you mentioned, right? Like the cloud chips type of cards.
Yeah.
Like imagine like killing a creature with Ashen Rider, hitting them for 5 cloud shifting, killing another creature.
Right.
Now you have a 5/5
and there are engines like that. There are like artifact engines and other things that let you blink for free that aren't necessarily even spells. Any way possible to be able to kind of reuse those triggers is really what this whole archetype is about.
Yeah, no, this looks sick to me. So this is something I would really enjoy.
Yeah.
Maybe if Aaron doesn't take over the black anymore on my right hand side, I could end up in something like this.
One day.
But one can hope. And then Rakdos Reanimator. So public service announcement in the middle. That's Corstoke So if you have not seen that art,
spicy art,
which I haven't before, but more of the story is Rakdos is trying to reanimate, right? What is this? Infamous Cruel Claw was a card which I definitely was looking forward to. I still think that card on power level could be good for a constructed format.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we just need a couple of pieces to come together because that
it's fun to watch for sure. I think. I think Torrent of Souls is also an absolute. I think people miss the second half of this card to flag that the creature's target player controls gets +2/+0 in haste. It's not just the creature that that you reanimate it.
Yeah,
I think that's a huge thing that caught me out a couple times as well, where it's like, oh, you actually, you're beating it with your 2-drop you just played in addition to this spell, whatever, right? Like I think that's something that like, there's a versatility to that I think you can throw this in Gruul and not be sad about it.
Yeah,
like you're not maybe not your first choice, but I think there's some real versatility with that hybrid mana symbol there as well. But yeah, the Rakdos Reanimator package, there's lots of ways to discard cards, and then do what you do. You play your Torrent of Souls, you play your kind of reanimate effects, and kind of cheat them into play a little bit. A little bit earlier, the Gear Hulk, is a reanimator target and reanimate. So it's a real
kind of
2-for-1. It's good on both sides of the team, right? On the bench and on the game.
It's like Ocean's 11 assembly.
Just kind of multiple hats on Gear Hulks.
I mean, imagine, right? Like just getting hit by a Cruel Claw, getting a Gear Hulk, they get back something else.
It's
army in a can.
Magical Christmas Land.
So Rakdos Reanimator, then Izzet Spellslinger, another classic, ladies and gentlemen. So a couple of things here. Balmor, Battle Mage Captain, which is deceptively good.
House for a 2-drop.
And it's also the same thing what you highlighted earlier. Creatures you control, not just this creature. Like it's all other creatures, and like I've had my opponent like cast like 3 spells a turn.
You throw some cantrips in there.
And then it's like now everything is hitting me at least for 4, and they have trample. And then this flies itself, and this is your 2-drop.
That Opt or Consider becomes a full team Anthem Haste spell, right? Like and Trample as well, which is crazy. Like, you really read this card, it just keeps going. And you're like, well, what's going on?
I think the Trample makes it like completely unbearable. Like now I can even do jump blocks. Like I need to put toughness in front of those cards, and also like some of those cards which they cast. Like imagine your opponent like have like 4 mana or 5 mana, cast 2 spells, send in the crew, and have 2 mana up. Like what are you gonna do, right?
It's wild. Like it's great early game, it's great late game. You're able to play reactive, and still get benefits from, it's it's a great archetype. It's classic for a reason. We all love in our hearts the Izzet Spellslinger shell, and it's definitely present here.
Crackling Drake also starts a 0 for draw card, and I'll kill you 2 turns later. So 16. But it draws back the card, so you're not feeling good anyway. Even if you can kill it, and if you can't kill it, it will kill you. So and then explosion. So that's quite the spell to slink.
Absolutely.
So this is your package. Great deck, enjoyable deck. So draft it highly and enjoy it. And then we're gonna have Simic SuperMorph. So that's a little bit of that reasoning. Like Morphs has been around since like Onslaught. I think that was the first set. So it's a good like 20x years of Magic history now. But also as the game evolved, Morphs have evolved. So we're gonna have like all the different versions.
There are many different faces of face down creatures.
Exactly. How can we put different face down creatures?
Manifest, Morph, SuperMorph, Skies, Cloak.
Exactly. So this deck is all on that. And start with secret plans, right? Like face down creatures control get the +1, which is nothing, but when they turn face up, you draw a card.
You live that dream.
I can tell you that you're gonna draw a lot of cards from this. Sagumorlar, that's just a little bit of nostalgia.
Exactly.
You died to Sagumorlar.
You died to it once, you never forget it. Absolutely.
And then a good one from lately, which I really enjoyed, Make Your Own Luck. Like that was cool.
It's a really solid card advantage, engine for sure.
It's like look at the top 3, like get one of them into the plot zone, right? And then the other into your hand.
Just Simic being able to kind of do Simic stuff, right? Keep yourself, play some big stuff. But I think the big thing with the face down creatures is that you really, because they're from such a vast era of Magic's history, you never know what to expect. Like we always joke about the Willbender or like whatever it's going to be. But I think there's a lot of really cool niche synergies that exist within this archetype that I think if you really have a keen eye for some of these cards, you'll really be able to put together a pretty sweet package.
Simic is great as always, and then we have the 5-colored Giga Chat Soup. Sorry for the misspelling on the top.
I just noticed that.
But there you go. We're gonna put this to production. It's an
Yeah,
authentic moment on the channel's history.
there you go.
But what is also authentic is having a Giganta in your command zone
Yeah,
in
that's
a
right.
1v1 game. So you can have a lot of mana added to your mana pool, and this is a deck where you know, if you have a Giganta, you wanna pay attention to that. Don't put in the double pip spells, but as long as you keep it one of each color, then you can have Niv Reborn, Maelstrom Archangel, and really the cube. I think, you know, what we discussed, Ryan told me that there's some extra fixing in that, so it's
Yes, yeah.
probably
There's some extra,
this
some
team.
more dual lands and a lot more kind of like artifact fixing as well for colorless folks. I mean, obviously, if you want this to be your, dream, you want to kind of have a base green as it is for a lot of five color stuff, a lot of those basic land cyclers and those kind of things. But there's definitely a world where you just take a bunch of tap lands and a couple of prismatic lands, and you live that dream. Niv Mizzet Reborn obviously being a huge payoff for this, where in a cube full of different color pairs, you being able to kind of grab, you put this down, you could grab 5-6 cards depending on how you build your
Yeah,
deck, right? Like it can be a real haymaker, along with some other five color real like bangers like Maelstrom Archangel.
yeah. It's also, I think, this archetype is here to create a decoy for Aaron. So now he has to choose whether he picks the fixing lens or the removal.
Yeah,
And,
that's right.
but that's really because I feel like our Ravnica draft to get away with, you know, picking all the bounce lands for free.
Yeah.
No longer. So yeah, you know, watch out. But that's five color for you if you are into that. And that's really the archetypes, ladies and gentlemen. So we're gonna look at, you know, the list. We're gonna start with some of the two color,
Absolutely, yeah. The color
allied and
pairs.
enemy, yeah, and then we're gonna go from the monocolor, and yeah. So there's a lot of great cards, as you can see, what you can buy under $3, and we're gonna jump into the official Draftalgia $3 cube list on the next video. So see you guys there.
Take care.